Hi, I'm Scott Ganow, an attorney at Faruki, Ireland & Cox, and welcome to our second installment on the cloud as part of our series on the Internet of Things, technologies that are enabling information in today's age, as well as privacy and security. With me again is Tim Rettig, CEO of Entrust IT. And Tim, one of the questions my clients always ask about, and they're always concerned about is, for example, when I'm drafting a security policy or privacy policy, first thing I always ask, well, what are you doing with the data? Before you can ever secure data, you got to know where is it, who's touching it, what they're doing with it. If they're thinking about going to the cloud, how do they do that? And how does the cloud account for that from a security perspective?
So those are great questions, and to answer those we have to back up just a second because there's a lot of different cloud services that are out there. So moving to the cloud can mean a lot of different things. So what I want to do first is lay the groundwork so we can just have those good discussions so we have a better understanding of what cloud services we're going to utilize. To do that, what I use is this model here, which is kind of the layers of your business. So let me walk through this real quick. At the most basic level, on an IT level, we have utilities and facilities, which is your internet connections, your power in your room or your data center where you've got your equipment at. And then you've got your infrastructure, your hardware, switches, those types of things that you have that are in your utility or in your facility. The operating systems that run on those, the applications then that you utilize at your accounting system, HR package, those types of things, CRM. The data that you put into those applications, the people that interact with that data, the processes that tell the people what to do, and then your strategy that define your processes. So looking at these different layers, the cloud then allows you to take different portions of these layers and outsource them. Because as a business owner, historically, we've had to worry about all of these different layers. We've had to worry about making sure we have a good power and maybe even power backups, a generator backup to keep our servers running. Now, what we can do is we can take that equipment that we have and we can put it somewhere else, and that's called co-location. And that's the simplest of the cloud services that are out there. You still have full control of your systems, but you're putting them in somebody else's facility. And a lot of times you have better security than you have if you've left them in your office because they've got SSAE 16 audited security, which means they have 24/7 guards, and they have biometric security and all those things that you don't have in your office probably as a small business owner. And if you step up to infrastructure, you have infrastructure as a service. And this is popular with Amazon. That's where you can actually utilize their equipment and you load everything else on it and control everything else yourself. The major draw to this is the fact that you don't have those large capital expenditures because you're not going out and buying the SANs and the servers anymore. You're just renting space on somebody else's equipment. So that's a very popular solution. And then you've got platform as a service. And this is for companies that want to develop their own applications, but they don't want to worry about the operating systems, they don't worry about the hardware underneath that, and they don't want to worry about what data center it's in. And then the next step up is software as a service. At this layer, you don't have to worry about any of this. You're just consuming Salesforce over the internet or something like that, where you can just log in and access your applications and you don't know what operating system, you don't need to keep it patched, you don't need to keep the equipment up to date, and you don't need to worry about where that data center is. So at that point, you're pretty much taking all of your IT and outsourcing it to somebody else. So with that outsourcing, you lose some control, so that's where the security concerns come up.
And the thing that's really helpful, and if you're watching this, and the reason we're taking the detail on this is to think about security of data in layers. There's a concept called security in depth that we talk a lot about with our clients where you can't just think of one wall and all your data. Security in layers, like Tim has laid out here, is extremely important to providing a fail-safe if one layer fails or another layer fails. So even though there's a lot of detail here, and maybe you're not a technical person, understanding these layers of security around your information, if you go cloud or not, are extremely important to start with. But you can obviously see the economies of scales are there, but the benefit from a security perspective has to be measured as well. And in our next discussion, we'll talk about just what kind of security is out there, what to look for in a security service provided by a cloud provider, so you can make a good decision as to whether the cloud is for you or not. With Tim Rettig, I'm Scott Ganow. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.